Okay, so the first step is to drag the tables to the area and then link the tables to each other correctly. You can see that there is no red line here, which indicates that the tables are linked correctly. And also we can check the relationship here, and we can see that, for example, in case of reservation customer, they're correctly linked through the customer ID. Okay, so what I will do now, I will go to the sheet one so we can create the set of. So what we are going to do, we are going to do this in 3 steps, three phases or 3 steps. First, we are going to create the measurements. We add the measurements. Second, we will create the charts. And last step, we're creating the dashboard in this session. First, there are important measurements in this context that we want to add them and we want to create them in this in this context, so we can use them for creating the charts. First, we want to create a rental period. What we have here is the start date and end date of the reservations. We want to add a new measurement as rental period, which shows us the end date minus a start date. Before doing that, there is an issue with the data set, so we want to fix it here. You can see that the end date here, it doesn't show it as a date. We need to update the data type here for end date and a start date to date. So click on the down arrow here, go to change data type, and you can see that it is set to a string. Click on date, so it updates the data type to date. For end date and a start date, click on the down arrow here, go to change data type and click on date. You can see that now the date icon is showed on the left side. The same thing we want to do for a start date. Click on the down arrow, click on change data type, and click on date. Once we completed this step, now we can create our first measurement. Click on the down arrow here and create a calculated field. We're going to create our first calculated field. We're going to call it rental period. What's rental period? Rental period is just end date minus a start date. End date minus a start date. We have two options. Either we can drag the column to this area or we can type this. For instance, we can drag the column to the area and say end date minus a start date. So this is going to give us a rental period. Rental period is equal to end date minus a start date. Once you click OK, you will see the rental period. And also you can go to the reservations table, click on reservations table, and you can see that here now we have a new column, a calculation column. It shows rental period. It shows you how many days a person rented a room, like that room. Here we have the room ID indicates that a specific room which was rented. Next, we want to create a new calculated field. We want to calculate revenue per reservation. Revenue per reservation. Revenue per reservation is rate at booking multiplied by rental period. So we are going to create a new calculated field, and we are going to call this revenue. What's the revenue? Revenue is rate at booking. Rate at booking multiplied by rental period. This is going to give us revenue made on that specific reservation. Rental period multiplied by rate at booking. Next, there are a few things that we want to calculate which are important measurements in this industry or in this domain. One of them is cost per night. Every room has a cost, maintenance cost, from electricity to cleaning to everything else. And cost per night here is calculated as rate per night multiplied by 0.6. Where does that come from? I believe that's 60% is the standard room rate for cost per night for maintaining a room. So we are going to create a new calculated field. We're going to call it cost per night. Cost per night is going to be rate at night per, is that the rate per night multiplied by 0.6. This will give us the cost per night for maintaining, or cost per night for each room. Cost per night. Now that we have the cost per night, now we can calculate the profit made from each reservation. Profit is the rate at booking. This is what they charge minus cost per night. This is the cost that we are taking for a room for each night. If we take out from the rate at booking, the remaining one is going to be profit. And if we multiply by rental period, this will give us total profit for each reservation. So let's create this calculated field, profit, and the profit is going to be, increase the size, rate at booking. I should place it inside the parentheses. Sorry, I forgot that. So place it inside the parentheses. Open the parentheses, rate at booking minus cost per night, multiply, close the parentheses, and then multiply by rental period. This will give us profit made on each reservation. Rate at booking minus cost per night multiplied by rental period. So we also added this profit measurement. Let's move on. Now, a lot of times you have a numeric column that you can use actually in creating the charts, but you can actually use them for creating new information. How? A lot of times you can change a numeric column into categories or categorical columns. Create categorical columns from numeric columns. In this case, we have rental period, which is a numeric column. We want to create some type of categorization. This will give us a lot of insights about how people reserve rooms. We want to say if a rental period is greater than 4 or 5, we'll categorize it as longest stay. If it is greater than 2, medium stay, and then otherwise we'll specify it as shortest stay. So let's create that calculated field here. Rental period category. Want to say if rental period is greater than, let's use 4 here. I think that the periods are small, so let's use 4. Then we'll categorize this as long stay. If the rental period is greater than 4, we'll categorize this for then long stay. Otherwise, else if. Why else if, not else? Because we still have another condition to check. We want to say if it is less than or equal 4 but greater than 2, we'll categorize it as medium stay, which in this case we say rental period is greater than 2. Then we'll categorize it as medium stay. You can also have this. Let me finish it and then we'll come back. Okay. Otherwise, Now, there is no other condition. Otherwise, this is a short stay. And then at the end, you need to add the end statement. Each time you need to add the end statement if you have this type of formula for creating a new calculated field. Now, this formula is correct and the other version is correct. What is the other version? If you wanted to add here, okay, if the rental period is greater than 2 and rental period is less or equal to 4. This is also the same thing because we assume that if it is not greater than 4, it will go to check out the next condition. We didn't initially include it. But if you want, for simplicity, you can include this and indicate that it is between greater than 2 and less or equal to 4. That's when we specify this as a medium state. Let me save this. And we have two more measurements to add, so we can actually create this very important measurement for understanding how hotels perform. So for a chain, they want to see which one of their hotels have a higher occupancy rate. This is a very positive factor. It says as much as your occupancy rate is higher, you're performing better. Before calculating this, let's add two new calculated fields. One, total nights rented. We'll say total nights rented, total nights rented. So what's total nights rented? Total nights rented is calculated for each room. It is sum of rental period, sum rental period. So it says sum rental period. It's a little bit different from the ones that so far we've created. So you can see that we are using this function to say this will be calculated for each room. Will tell us total number of nights a room is rented. Next, let's create another calculated field. This one is going to tell us how many nights it was available. Total nights available. Total nights available is sum of capacity for a room. Okay, with every room, you can see that we have a capacity here. So if we add up the capacity, multiply it by 30, which is 30 days in a month, we assume that every month, for simplicity, we assume that every month is 30 days. So 30 days multiplied by sum of capacity, it will tell us it will tell us the total nights available in 1 year, how many nights a room is available. Let's save it. Now we are at the point that we actually can calculate occupancy rate or hotel occupancy rate. What's total occupancy rate? Occupancy rate is total nights rented, which we calculated here. We didn't have to separate them. We could have even used them in this formula directly and not create them. For simplicity, I wanted to separate them so you can see what actually is some rental period. This will tell us total nights rented. So total nights rented divided by total nights available. This will give us occupancy rate. Total nights rented divided by total nights available. Yes. This will give us occupancy rate for each hotel. Great. We moved on. We completed the first step or first module, which was creating and adding the measurements we need in this practice. Next, we are going to actually create a set of charts and KPIs. The first chart we want to create is a revenue versus profit. We want to create a line chart using dual axis that shows us revenue versus profit. And we are going to use a start date as a way to see for each month. We want to see for each month profit versus revenue. So what I will select a start date, revenue, and profit. Now, from the show me section, let's select line chart. Let's select the line chart, and then we can actually create the line chart. So if you select line chart now here, you can see that for each year, it shows some revenue and some profit. What we are going to do, we are going to change it to month. So click on the down arrow for year, the started year. If you recall, it said if you want to change it to month or quarter, click on the down arrow, and from here you can change this to month or quarter or other measurements. Here, I'm going to change it to month. For each month, we can see total revenue versus total profit. But we want to see them next to each other. We want to have one dual axis chart that shows us revenue versus profit. In order to make that change, click on the down arrow, and if you recall, this is how we do it. Click on the down arrow, and then you have dual axis. Click on this down arrow here, and then select dual axis. Okay, axis. And then you will see this chart. One thing you want to remember is that each time you're doing that in a chart, you're showing two charts in one place. One step is very important. You want to make sure that the axes are synchronized. You see, there is a chance that the profit range is not synced here. You see that? It is not synced. So what you see is not the correct view of this chart where profit versus revenue. You can see that it showed you this line chart, but if you look at it, you can see that these two axes have different scales or different boundaries. So what I will do, click on the down and click right here. On the right side, let's click right and then click on synchronize axis. Click right and click on synchronize axis. Now you can see that both sides are synced. Now this is the correct way, chart to show us profit versus revenue. Profit versus revenue in each month. I will update the title of this chart. Sum of revenue and profit for each month. Sum of revenue and profit for each month. And then I will name this as Q1. If you want to change the color of this line chart, you can simply do it. Click on this all section and see that we have for each one of them some profit, some revenue cards, and also all. Here I can click on the color. I can click on edit colors. What I will do, I can click on the profit. Okay, I can, for instance, let's see, I'm going to change it. Okay, let's change the revenue to green. So click on revenue and then click on green, and that's how it changes the color. So if you click on the revenue and then click on color, it will change it and it will show you the updated color. Let's move on to the next question. We want to see total number of reservations for each month. Total number of reservations for each month. And we want to use a stack bar chart to see completed versus canceled. So I will select for each month. A start date, I will select here. The reservation count, it's a measurement that tells us how many reservations we have for each category. Here, the category is month, or we are going to set it to month. So it will tell us total number of reservations for each month. So start date, select reservation count, and also we are going to select a status. We want to create a stack bar chart. Once we selected these columns, click on Show Me, and then we have the stack bar chart. It's the middle one in the bar chart row. The middle one in the bar chart row. If you click on the stack bar chart, then you can see that it shows you stack bar chart, shows you the status, completed versus canceled. And also it is showing us initially as a default by year. So click on the down arrow and change this to month. Click on the down arrow and change this to month, and then you can sort the results. Once you sorted the results, let's drag reservation count over label so we can see number of reservations in each category. So we can see that, for instance, max number of cancellations we have is in March. So we have more reservation and cancellations in March. I will change the title here to total reservations for each month, or in each month and each status. You can name this differently. Just total reservations for each month and each status, or for each status. This is my Q2. Let's go over the next chart. On top and okay, that's not very good. We want to create a tree map that shows us rooms and number of stays or number of reservations. Each reservation is a stay, so number of stays or number of reservations for each room. We have here room name, so I'm going to use the room name, and then again we have the reservations count. We have the reservations count. On Show Me, we have the tree map chart. The tree map chart is this under the bar charts. Selected. So for each room, we can see total number of reservations. We need to apply some changes here. First, we want to only filter them for the completed ones. So I will drag a status. I will drag a status to filters, drag a status to filters, and then select completed. Drag a status to filters, and select completed. So we can only filter the results for completed. We can drag reservations count over label so we can see them as a label. One more thing, the chart shows us, asks us to show top N. So we want to filter them and use a parameter to do that. Let's create the parameter and use it very quickly. Click on the down arrow, click on parameter. We'll call this top N. We'll change the data type to integer, current type, let's say 5, set the range minimum, maximum to, let's say 15. So top N, data type integer, current value 5, we set the range 1 to 15. Now, here in the room name, click on the down arrow here, and then click on filter. Click on room name, click on filter. Then you will see this window, and at the last one, at the last tab, you have a top tab. Select by field, and then we can select top. We can select the parameter that we just created. Select the parameter we just created. And then click OK. So now we can see that it shows us by default top five rooms with the highest reservations. Um, the last step about the parameter, anytime you use a parameter in a chart, is that you need to show it on the right side. So click on the down arrow for the parameter and click on show parameter. So parameter has to always be shown in the chart in the right side. That's how actually the user can use this parameter to change this and see the results based on this setting, right? So I want to be able to change this and see the chart. This is going to be total reservations per room for completed reservations or completed reservations. And this is Q3. Now, I will jump one question in so we can cover a little bit important topics. One, the last chart we want to create the occupancy rate so we can see the occupancy rate for each hotel. So for each hotel, let's select occupancy rate, and let's select hotel name. So select hotel name and occupancy rate. We want to see occupancy rate for each hotel. So we selected hotel name and also we selected occupancy rate. From the charts, let's select bubble chart. Past bubble chart. So it should be here in this row. There's a bubble chart. If you click on the bubble chart, then you will see this chart which shows you occupancy rate for each hotel. Let's drag occupancy rate over label so we can see the occupancy rate for each hotel. Next, let's take the same steps that we would change the format. So click on the down arrow. The one that you use for label. So pay attention to the label icon. So here, click on the down arrow, go to format, click on format, go to format. Here, we would change it to currency. These are percentages, so it's a ratio. So let's change it to percentage. Let's change it to percentage. From here, you can also change the decimals. Let's keep it 2% for now, but change it to percentage. And this will give us occupancy rate for each hotel. This was among the Q5, I think, so I will just name it as Q5. All right. We want to move on to creating KPIs. KPI or key performance index. Every business has very important indexes that they use to measure their performance. For example, they check their total profit, they check their total revenue. When you create a dashboard, normally these KPIs come at the top of the dashboard. They want to see these KPIs at the top of this dashboard. So let's create 3 KPIs, one for profit. How do we create a KPI? Click on the measurement and drag it over text. So directly click on the measurement and drag it over text. Drag it over text. Do you see here on the text? If you drag it over text, then you will see this, which shows you sum of profit. So it's total profit. So first, drag that over text. Then click on text. Click on these 3 dots because we want to format the label. These are KPIs. They usually show up at the top of the dashboard. They need to look big. They need to have a big size so they can take attention. So we use a larger font size, and let's select bold here. Good. Now let's change the format to currency. So click on the down arrow here, click on format, change the format to currency. With every KPI, you want to specify the title or the name of that KPI. Here, double click, and this is total profit. Total profit. With the KPI title, you don't want too much attention. You want it to be just as an information so the user understands what that KPI is. So I will keep this as 15, so with a small font size. I would also do one more change the color to a little bit like a lighter gray, not black. So you can create that contrast in your dashboard. So I will select a lighter gray or like darker gray, not black. And that's a KPI. That's simple, right? Let's change this. So this is profit KPI. So let's follow these steps exactly the way we did here to create two more KPIs. First, we're going to create a KPI for revenue. So I will drag revenue. Let me find revenue. Drag revenue over text. Click on text, go to edit label and change it to the same font size that we used for the other one, 24, and then make it bold. Click OK. Again, change the format to currency and then add a label for it. So click on the down arrow here, click on format, change the format to currency. And let's change this title. This is total profit. Or sorry, yes, total revenue. Total revenue. Then let me change the title here is revenue KPI. Revenue KPI. And the last KPI we want to create is a occupancy rate. So I will drag hotel occupancy rate over text. Again, click on text, click on these three dots. Let's change the format. I'm going to change it to 24, make it bold. Change the title here. So occupancy rate. One more thing about the occupancy rate, let's change it to percentage. So click on the down arrow. Similarly, you would go to, likewise, you would go to format, change the format to currency. From here, select percentage. Let's select percentage and reduce the decimal place to 0 so we can just see occupancy percentage. So 20% occupancy, for instance, okay? And I will change the title here. This is occupancy rate KPI. So we created three KPIs: profit, revenue, occupancy rate. We created the chart, and we should be good to move on to the last phase of this practice and then create the dashboard. Let's create a dashboard. In every dashboard, usually the KPIs come at the top of your dashboard. So this level is going to be your KPI place. So I will drag here my KPI. Initially, when you drag the charts, whether KPIs, this is how they look like. That's why we need to click on the down arrow and make it floating so we can actually resize them. So click on the down arrow. Let's here click on floating. Okay, click on floating. Now you can resize it, and if you want, you can move that chart here. So I'm gonna place this total profit here. This is why I said change the color a little bit here so you can create that contrast. Let's do the same thing for the other KPIs one at a time. So I will make it floating, and then I will place it at the center here. And then last one, occupancy rate. I will figure out how I can fix this occupancy rate ratio so it looks like correctly in one line. But for now, I can just leave it like this. Okay, so your KPIs will always come at the top in the correct placement. Now let's place the chart. First, I will drag the chart here. Again, I need to make it floating, so click on the down arrow and make it floating. Now you can move the chart. One thing you want to do with this chart, you don't need to see the titles in this dashboard. So click on the down arrow and click on the title so it hides the title. Okay, so click on the down arrow, and if again click on the title, it will hide the title from your chart and also make it floating so you can resize it. So what I will do, I want to go with this design. I want to make this big here this way. Then I want to place the charts in three columns. So first Q2. Drag it here, click on the down arrow, hide the title, click on the down arrow, click on floating, and then place it under this chart here. I will increase this as well. Again, the other chart. So I will add the third chart here. Let me see why it's not adding here. Okay, third chart, again, hide the title, make it floating so you can move it to this area. So I want to place them here. If I can decrease the size, I'll actually place it here. Okay, so I place it here, and then I can add the other chart again, make it floating, hide the title, and nicely we have this dashboard now. It's a little bit smaller. We can increase the size of this dashboard a little bit so we can give more space to these charts. And we can spend more time later if you want to kind of, I think you can make some changes to this areas so we can have more information. But that's pretty much it. So this is a dashboard. That's how you want to see the dashboard. So you have an organization. You don't want to stack everything in one horizontal column. Okay, just everything like line by line. You want to kind of give this nice spacing for different charts so you can see this chart. Next session, what we will do, we'll see how we can apply filters to every dashboard and then also publish them to Tableau. Let me see if we can do this. I just want to say the steps you can take. Click on the data tab, go to customer, and then click on extract date. So click on data tab, click on customer, click on extract date. Extract data. Then save settings. Once you see this, if you see it, save it or select the folder and then save it. I already have it, that's okay, I will save it. Then click on server tab, go to Tableau Public and save it to Tableau Public. Go to Tableau Public and save it to Tableau Public. That's how you can get a link to your Tableau. You will publish your dashboard publicly to Tableau Public, and then you get a link to your Tableau. I want to spend time here, but those are the steps. Once you log in, then you will be able to share it on Tableau. Great. We have completed the steps. This is it for today's session. So let me quickly take attendance and then you're good to go. Please take the attendance, and if you have questions, let me know. Oh.